ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, towns, cities, people groups, sections, intersections, woodwind, brass, violin, string sections. It's just kind of a sort of, you could just kind of session, laid back, talk out of kind of like a talk about, or talk about just some things that are pretty laid back, so. Some of the really cool things that are, just think about it, like 20, just like, because we ultimately have to start getting used to this, because ultimately we are a part of this ascension, and that's super exciting. 20. So it's just a number, 20,000. 20,000 spacecraft, 20,000 zoos, 20,000. Well, even zoos. So this is an interesting fact, because this is what I actually should have mentioned on. I'm mentioning it here, which is super unique, because this is like a super awesome thing. Because here we go. What do we do about interstellar, intergalactic? And it's a sort of a hypothetical, but it also does have an answer. And of course, the answer is, always higher consciousness, or just awareness, or just like a higher level of thinking, or just a more simplistic, spiritual, enlightened way of thinking. So, what about the intergalactic slave trade, intergalactic trading, intergalactic mining, and interstar system stuff that goes on, like, from, goodness gracious, it's a lot of things, from shipyards per se, of these ships, spacecraft, and all types of craft that are just all types. We think about the variety that we have for cars and vehicles. It's still, we don't even have, well, I mean this in a positive way, because it's like comparing, goodness gracious, it's so cliche, but it's like comparing apples and oranges. Like, there's a red and a green apple, and then there's like an orange that's orange and really big and orange, and then there's a slightly brighter orange, and then there's a slightly duller orange. How do you compare those? And one's, like seeds, and anyway, they all have seeds, fruits, and okay. Anyway, so there's cars and like the variety of cars and names and models and designs and engines and charges. Oh, goodness gracious. I don't even know exactly even how much into depth, or just how broad it is. What's the other thing? The stations. Oh, and the living areas, and the, oh my goodness, from, we have igloos, houses, apartments, caves. It's spectacular at another level. And then it's each planet, for example, colony, and each story is different. Once again, they have their different heritages, and I know that there's some type of weird story, not weird story, but I'm pretty sure This is how it similarly, or it went something like this. And bear with me with this story, because once again, I mean, this requires a huge understanding and level of insight. So, I mean, that should already be known by now. So, here we go. None. There are no, or the understanding is that there aren't any. I mean that, the cliche, there aren't any. Oh, that story's already known though, so I'm gonna tell it again. Such an old story and it's been repeated, but whatever. I'll just call it it's because it's not really my story. It's Corey Good's story, and it's Corey Good's events or actual experience. So just quantify it in that area. I'm not taking credit for it. Just it really makes you. Well, first, some things it might make you want to do is wonder, and then kind of, discover, and then kind of anyway. That's just one thing. Of course, Corey Good's many other stories, or not stories, experiences. But I mean like actual experiences and stuff like that. Transportation. In general, just speaking in general, just sovereignty in general. There's I know a name. One of the names is typed for, and who knows what's going on with them. But I just definitely know that the ICC, the Intergalactic Corporate Conglomerate, is one that's out and about all over star systems, doing a whole bunch of stuff, trading, slavery, imprisonment, to selling, to just doing all like planet, like solar system wide stuff, like solar system wide. I say stuff because I should really quantify. So, what the things it takes to run a planet, and as in control a planet, as in subdue the population, and as in limit it, which is not possible. So bear with me here because I'm going to go really fast. Here we go. It's not possible to keep and this is an interesting thing because of course there's no such thing as something that's not possible, but this is not possible because even though there are limitless amounts of omniscience skills in just the abilities and being able to for example doing the impossible, but subduing a planet, it's been done, but it's at this point, I say honestly, it's just not possible because once again, transportation between planet to planet, solar system, solar system, the solar system, the star system happens just like that. And of course, we can travel in consciousness. So yes, we do need craft, and no, we don't need craft. Spacecraft that can go from planet to planet in a matter of minutes, hours and days to different parts of the galaxies. Or excuse me, galaxies plural. Surreal the amount of time that it takes, that it does not take to not understand the quantification of just the type of warp traveling, or whatever it could be called. Warp traveling, time traveling, time displacement, movement of time, movement of space, movement of imaginary fields into reality fields, into imaginary field into reality field, creation of conjurations of what could be manifested with replicators, real machines that actually make things. I mean, you can even make food of replicators that make. I mean, and that's what's so fantastic about. It's ridiculous, and so and I sum it up as ridiculous because it's huge. It's absolutely huge. So civilization, we understand on a planetary level. Understand civilization at an absolutely massive, very large scale, solar system level. Mining operations too, and I'm really hyping on this because it's interesting. Well, it's not that interesting. It's one of our birthrights. Anyway, construction of just artifacts, creations, designs, even artificial constructs. And so much more. I should really quantify a little bit more. So there's craft, there's technology, and I can only, I can describe it more as just technology. It's stuff that we have. So analogy, cell phone compared to a pager. Like the difference between, oh goodness gracious, difference between a microchip and a carburetor, or how about a spark plug? That was really random. It's a huge, vast, extraordinary unity difference, but yeah, it's unified in terms of. Because here's the thing. So we have the ICC, and they've been doing stuff for years, decades, longer than I've been alive, of course. There's been a lot of manipulation of huge, and I don't like to be the bearer of bad news, but this is horrible stuff, and I've done it's weird to say that I know what I'm doing, because I do, but anyway, goodness gracious, dude, this is not good. It's not good. It's bad. It's really, really bad. We got there's been slavery going on for like movement of, and I've known this for a very long time, a movement of human beings onto different planets, staying there for a very long time. Some of it, there is the 20 and back program. It's totally different topic though, totally different thing. I do know that I found out about this a while ago. Just it would be, there's several things. One, we're food, but then again, there's also very intelligent, or not intelligent, but I like the R word. That's a good word. Respectable, and I'm totally just trying to be casual about this. Very, very casual. I'm doing a very, oh my goodness, that is so awesome. I just kind of realized that. I'm doing a hippie version. Not a hippie version, but I mean hippie in a good thing, in a good way. A hippie version of actual content. I can do it in every single way, whatever. I know how to do it. I've been doing it, and not of course not confidence or arrogance, but I know how to. Well, it sounds so cliche, but talk the talk and walk the walk when it comes to knowing this stuff that I know, and trying to figure out, and then trying to research, and then trying to enlighten others. Anyway, key thing is, there's a lot of slavery, and it's with different races, and it's not just the human race that's involved in slavery either, and of course there's. And this is what's so confusing, not confusing, but like weird, or just like doesn't make sense with other planets. They don't understand, like, for example, and I've mentioned this on other broadcasts, why do you have to pay for things on the planet that you were raised on? And that's probably like an age-old question by now, but, there should be no anything like that, And that's just a whole thing that, we need to trade to get something, to get the things that we need. We need to get this to get that. We need to get that to get this. And that's when, that realm of abundance, and that's why I'm so harping on heaven-essence, because that's ultimately what is happening, that is what's happened. Not like what's happening is what's happening, what's going to happen. Meaning, in 2017 is 2080, or in 2080 is 6042. So let's put it this way. So there's multiple races, multiple factions. Actually, there's a better word. A total congestion of the subduing, and this is previous, because of course I say not only is the process of liberation, but actual liberation, of course, the liberation of liberation. Interesting how I just transcended, transshifted, transfigured that on broadcast already. Anyway, liberation involves, of course, being liberated from the freedom that we know of what is liberty, involved in liberating the liberators, liberating the liberty of liberty lights, liberty, libergade, a freedom's liberty, brigade, liberty, parade, brigade. It's a brigade. It's a move. It could be defined just whatever you want. I mean, whatever. We had so many different things before, with so many different evolutions. From it doesn't even. I mean, it does matter, but it doesn't matter. But it does matter. All the types of evolutions. Revolutions. We had the Cromp. Excuse me. Cromwell. I don't know why I can't pronounce that anyway. Reconstruction. There's revolutions after the W words. So many different types of evolutions. Got it. Get it. Good. Moving towards a grander fruition of more just kind of an understanding of our innate higher intellectual state of being and celestial magnificent divinity form of brilliance. And that's what we are, and that's what's so important about being able to do the types of magnificent, miraculous things that we do, which are magnificent and miraculous, because this is heaven essence in the making, which is so important, which is what? Are so many, and this is why it's so important for our responsibility to not only uphold and do, and I harp on this, but I mean, this is not good. This is not good. This is not good at all. Bad news. Very, very, very bad. It's been a lot of. I mean, look at Maldak. Look at Maldeck. It's not Maldeck anymore. So, and then of course, look at the. I mean, it has changed. I mean, it's gotten better, but once again, look at the surface of Mars. So anyway, and it's not. Never mind. I'm not even gonna go into that little. It's not what you think is not here. It's here. And of course, that's already known. That's kind of an innate instinct by now. So, just I guess a little bit more clarity and background. So, gosh, there's so much. So there's technology that's used without our knowledge. There's technology that is used to trade, to advance the ICC or advance other corporations, and then there's technology that's used to enslave, and then there's technology that's used, or there's terraforming that's used to benefit the ICC, mining, and it's not beneficial for the planet, and resource gathering. We don't need to do resource gathering. I'll reiterate that later, or I'll clarify on that later. And then there's environment, shifting, changing, making an environment once again that hinders our ultimate ability. And so that's another thing. That's another thing. Okay. That's a whole nother thing, because once again, like we can. So, oh, goodness gracious, let's do this really basic, and this will be the key point for this one, because this will definitely be some food for thought. And then I'll literally jump. I'll start jumping light years after light years, because we gotta do this, dude. So light year. This is a mark point. Okay, this mark point is well. Obviously, I mean, freaking, it's planetary. So mark point here. So plants, they need to be visibly able to grow. That's how fast environment should shift. We see the growth of plants, and like we literally are able to see them grow. That's exactly how a planet should be. The tampering with our, I'm not going to get into it, but the tampering of the environment with all this, and it's not that, anyway, I'm just going to reiterate. We should be able to see plants grow. And we should always see them grow. Okay? That's a bookmark, benchmark, major point. There we go. This is your host, Christopher Mal Curtis Bond, on the CME edition, completely new. And, goodness gracious, there's, of course, a lot of work to do.